December 4th, 2025, Manhattan. Federal agents closed in fast. Paul Campo, 61 years old, stepped out of a private meeting and suddenly found himself surrounded. Within seconds, the former deputy chief of the Drug Enforcement Administration was in handcuffs. The man who once led efforts to choke off cartel finances now stood charged with helping one of the most powerful cartels in the world. Prosecutors say Campo and his longtime associate, Robert Sensi, had gone all in. They allegedly agreed to launder $12 million in CJNG drug profits. They converted hundreds of thousands in cash to cryptocurrency. They even helped arrange the purchase and delivery of 220 kilograms of cocaine destined for New York streets. For 25 years, Campo had been on the front lines against these organizations. He knew their financial systems. He knew exactly how law enforcement tracked the money. And according to the indictment, he decided to use that expertise for the other side. Every meeting had been monitored, every proposal recorded. But to understand how a top DEA insider became an alleged asset for the Cartel Jalisco New Generation, we have to go back to late 2024. Back in late 2024, Paul Campo had been out of the Drug Enforcement Administration for nearly 9 years. The 61-year-old had spent 25 years inside the agency, rising all the way to Deputy Chief of the Office of Financial Operations. He knew the banking loopholes cartels exploited. He understood exactly how federal agents traced dirty money. After he retired in January 2016, he opened a private consulting firm in Oakton, Virginia. Life was supposed to stay quiet. Then, Robert Sensi reached out. The 75-year-old businessman from Boca Raton, Florida, had an introduction. A contact who claimed direct ties to the Cartel Jalisco New Generation needed help moving cash. According to the indictment, Campo did not refuse. He agreed to a face-to-face meeting in New York. The first sit-down happened in a discreet location. The man posing as a cartel representative laid out the problem. $12 million in U.S. drug profits sat in cash form and needed to vanish into clean channels. Campo listened without flinching. He started sharing ideas drawn straight from his old DEA playbook. He explained how to break large sums into smaller transfers. He described ways to convert cash into cryptocurrency without tripping the very alerts he once designed systems to catch. Within days, the conversations grew specific. Campo and Sensi both committed to the plan. They discussed turning the first batch of cash into digital assets. Campo even referenced his government experience during the talks. He told the contact exactly which methods would beat the monitoring tools he had helped build. Prosecutors later said his insider knowledge became the selling point. The group scheduled follow-up meetings. Campo flew back to Virginia, but the proposal had already taken root. He and Sensi began preparing the first cash pickup and conversion details. Little did they realize every word spoken in those early sessions was already being captured on hidden recorders. The cash pickup went ahead exactly as planned. Paul Campo and Robert Sensi arranged for the first bundle to change hands in a discreet New York location. Hundreds of thousands in cartel cash moved quietly into their control. Campo took the lead. He broke the sums into smaller cryptocurrency transactions and routed them through layered wallets designed to slip past the very detection systems he once helped build inside the Drug Enforcement Administration. Within weeks, the first batch vanished into the digital realm. Court records show the operation cleaned roughly $750,000 in that initial run. Campo did not stop at one test. He and Sensi locked in their commitment to the full $12 million deal. They scheduled more meetings and refined the playbook. Campo drew directly on his 25 years of insider knowledge to explain every move. He described how federal agents monitored banks and flagged suspicious transfers. He showed them the precise gaps they could still exploit. And then the conversation shifted from theory to execution. Campo began calculating their cut. He discussed timelines for the next cash drops and the best exchanges to use. Sensi handled the logistics, while Campo focused on the financial architecture. Their confidence grew with each successful transfer. The man who had once chased cartel money now orchestrated its flow in the opposite direction. But the supposed cartel representative kept pushing for more. He wanted proof the system worked at scale. Campo delivered. He outlined the next phase involving even larger sums and faster conversions. Little did they realize the hidden recorders were still rolling, and the net around them had already begun to tighten. The operations moved faster than anyone outside the circle could have imagined. Paul Campo and Robert Sensi completed the cryptocurrency conversion on the first major cash bundle. $750,000 disappeared into layered digital wallets, exactly the way Campo had mapped out. He walked the contact through each step during their next meeting in New York, pointing out how the transfers dodged the automated flags his old team at the Drug Enforcement Administration had spent years perfecting. Campo spoke with calm authority. He knew the system because he had helped design it. Within weeks, the focus shifted from pure laundering to something bigger. The contact needed immediate payment for 220 kilograms of cocaine already staged for delivery into New York. Campo did not hesitate. He and Sensi arranged the wire instructions and confirmed the clean funds would reach the right accounts. Court records later showed they even calculated their own percentage cut down to the dollar. Campo laid out the full $12 million pipeline on paper during one session, explaining how future cash drops could follow the same route without raising alarms. His insider knowledge turned every conversation into a masterclass on beating the very agencies he once served. By early November 2025, the deals felt routine. Campo flew in for another meeting, reviewed the latest transaction logs, and assured the contact the next cocaine shipment would clear without a trace. He joked about how the old financial tracking methods were now working in reverse. Sensi handled the logistics, while Campo focused on the numbers. Their confidence had reached its peak. However, the contact had one more request that changed everything. He wanted to talk weapons. The contact wanted to talk weapons. Paul Campo leaned in and listened. The supposed CJNG operative described the new requirements in detail: military-grade rifles, explosives, and commercial drones capable of carrying payloads. He needed them sourced fast and routed without detection. Campo did not push back. Instead, he drew once more on his decades inside the Drug Enforcement Administration to outline exactly how such gear could move through existing supply chains. Within days, the discussions turned operational. Campo and Robert Sensi reviewed supplier contacts and shipping routes. Campo explained how federal watch lists flagged certain purchases and how to bypass them using shell companies and third-party brokers. He referenced specific techniques from his old financial operations files, the same ones he had used to track cartel arms deals years earlier. Court records show he even suggested layering payments through the same cryptocurrency channels they had already tested. The group calculated costs down to the last dollar. Campo assured the contact the deals could close inside weeks. By mid-November 2025, the conversations had expanded again. The contact pushed for a larger cocaine order on top of the weapons package. Campo and Sensi confirmed they could handle both. They scheduled one final meeting to lock in the full scope. Campo flew back to New York, reviewed the latest transaction logs, and walked through every contingency. He spoke with the same calm precision he once used in DEA briefings. The insider knowledge that had once shut down cartel pipelines now opened new ones. The contact nodded through it all. Every proposal Campo made was accepted on the spot. The two sides shook hands on the expanded arrangement. Campo and Sensi left the meeting believing the partnership had reached its highest level yet. But the final handshake had been captured in perfect detail, and the clock on the entire operation had just run out. On the 4th of December, 2025, the operation ended in Manhattan. Federal agents moved in fast the moment Paul Campo stepped out of the final meeting. Handcuffs locked around the wrists of the 61-year-old former deputy chief of the Drug Enforcement Administration. Robert Sensi was taken into custody the same day. The very next morning, prosecutors in the Southern District of New York unsealed the indictment. The charges hit hard: narco-terrorism conspiracy, conspiracy to distribute 220 kilograms of cocaine, material support to a foreign terrorist organization, multiple counts of money laundering. Court records laid out every recorded conversation, every cryptocurrency transfer, and every weapons discussion in damning detail. The man who once ran the agency's financial operations now stood accused of selling that same expertise to the cartel Jalisco New Generation. Both pleaded not guilty, but the judge ordered them held without bail. Campo, who had spent 25 years chasing cartels, now faced decades behind bars for allegedly joining them. The arrest sent shockwaves through law enforcement. It proved that insider knowledge could be turned against the very system it once protected. And it left one question hanging over every veteran who ever wore the badge. If this story of betrayal hit hard, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more real cases of insiders who crossed the line. Like the video if you want the next fallen agent investigation, and drop your thoughts in the comments. How far do you think a 25-year veteran could fall? The next one drops soon.